Welcome to Zombie Science Brain of the Dead. Right, my name is Dr. Howe. That's Dr. Howe, not Doctor Who. Dr. Lee, Dr. Howe. And I'm a theoretical zombieologist. If you haven't seen me before, don't worry. I do have a picture. That's me there. Now, see, that's my head at the top there, and my feet would be somewhere off the bottom here. Just use your imagination, that would be something like that. There we go. Now, I'm a theoretical zombieologist, as I say, and I'm based at Glasgow University, and I'm based on campus at the Zombie Institute for Theoretical Studies. There it is there. It is the world's only zombieism research facility, and I also like to think that it's the best as well. It is headed by my good friend and colleague, Dr. Austin. And if you haven't seen him before, well, you're in for a treat. Here he is, here, that's him there, Dr. Austin. He's a handsome fellow, as you can see. Now, he is the world's foremost authority on zombies and zombieism. And as such, he'll be in lots of the slides and videos that I've got for you today. You're wondering what my specialism is, and I'll tell you. It is zombio-archaeology. Yes, ooh, indeed. I have a degree in that, no less, that I got from Harrison Ford University. I did, it's serious. And it means that I travel the world looking for various relics and artefacts that might prove that zombies once existed here on Earth. In fact, I've got a picture of me with my most exciting find. That's it there. Now this one, it's quite impressive, isn't it? Now, it turned out to be nothing to do with zombies in the end, but I did get a good deal for it down at Cash Converters. So that was a bonus. Now, today's lecture is designed to teach you all about the zombie brain. And we'll be learning about diseases that exist already that can make people behave a bit like zombies. And we'll be learning about whether it's possible to use this knowledge to our advantage in a would-be zombie apocalypse. To help us survive and combat the zombies, of course. Now, we'll also, if there's time, learn about how you can turn a zombie back into a human, but that's not that important. Actually, that's very important. That's all our work is about, curing zombies. Not over a fire, curing, helping them. Now, first things first, let's see if your brains are nice and warmed up, shall we? Not for the zombies to eat, just... yes. Let's see if your brains are engaged. So first I'm going to show you a picture of a zombie, and all I want you to do is shout out as loud and as fast as you can what you think the zombie is going to do. Clear? Yes? Yeah. Okay. I'll need to see that you can shout, of course, first of all. So, okay, if I say zombie, can you shout back brains for me nice and loud, please? Zombie!
Brains!
Oh, that was very nice and loud. Excellent, zombie.
Brains!
Yes, I tried to trick you with saying the word when you weren't expecting it. But I won't zombie that again. Oh! Excellent, excellent, zombie. Right, here we go. I'll show you the picture now. That's enough knocking you around. So, here comes the picture. Remember, this time shout out what you think he's going to do, okay? And, whoa! Oh, I've missed, that's the wrong slide. I feel a fool. That wasn't even intentional, sorry. Here comes the picture. You ready this time?
Yep.
Okay, here he comes. What's he going to do?
Eat brains!
Yeah, yes, he could be going to kill you or eat your brains or just attack in general. What's happened there is, you've realised he doesn't look very happy. He's probably not going to give you a hug, for example. He looks a bit angry about something, and your brain straight away warned you that he was a potential threat. They said, "Oh, be careful, scary zombie." Very good. Good one. We can put that the whole zombie brains thing in hold for a second. Otherwise it's going to get very, very tiresome for everybody very quickly. Maybe not for you, but for me, certainly. No, okay, so your brain has warned you that he's a potential threat very quickly. Clever brains. Now let's try something a little bit different. I've got another problem for you, another slide here, and I want you to shout out as quick as you can the answer to this. Lots is the correct answer. Well, it's comparative, isn't it? So it depends. Compared to a million, it's not that much. No, this obviously is a bit of a trick question, isn't it? Now, you can tell it's a multiplication sum, and if I gave you enough time, you could work it out, couldn't you? Or if you had your phone handy, I'm sure you could work it out. The point here, though, is that your brain seems to tackle this problem in a different way to the last problem. Because for this one, The last one, your brain told you straight away it was a potential threat. This time it's slowing down. It seems to be having to slow down its process just to work it out. So it's tackling these problems in a different way. Now, for all you maths fans out there, of course, the correct answer is 2686. Do we have any maths fans in today? Yay. Of course we do. Oh, we do. Oh, fantastic. Well done. Maths is fantastic. The world is made of maths. Understand maths and you're master of the universe. Just thought that. Okay, that was actually an improvised joke there. Excellent. Now, 2686, fantastic. The point of these two little experiments is to show you that your brain tackles different problems in different ways. And if we are to survive the zombie apocalypse, it is essential that we understand how our brains work. Because not only will that help us escape, it'll also help us understand how the zombie brains would work. Ooh. So let's now take a closer look at the human brain. Ooh. Now inside your head is a big, wrinkly, pinky white sponge thing called the brain. Now along with the spinal cord, the brain makes up the centre of the nervous system, which is essential to everything that we do. You can think of this nervous system sort of like a massive network of roads, spread all the way throughout your body, all the way up and down your arms and legs and everywhere. And these roads are made up of billions of tiny little nerve cells called neurons, which you might have heard of. Now neurons are all linked together, and they pass messages along one to the other, sort of like a super fast Mexican wave all the way around your body, as we see here. In fact, to illustrate the point, why don't we all do a Mexican wave now? It's my favourite part of the show. Do we all know how to make a Mexican wave?
Yeah.
It is very, very easy. You just do this. You go, "Hola, señor, ¿cómo está?" And he waves back at you. Oh dear, who's that? Come in. It's the comedy police. No, seriously. You might have worked out this is actually an hilarious joke for your delight and pleasure. If you don't understand, don't worry, it's a bit highbrow, it might have gone over your head. I'll explain it for you now. Let's break it down. This is Dr. Who's Comedy 101. Now this gentleman here, he's from Central America. The clues are there, the sombrero and the flag, and I've waved my hand at him, resulting in him also waving his hand back at me, hence the Mexican wave. You've got it now. Okay, excellent. Excellent. I'll move on. Anyone who's still lagging behind, I'll explain it to you later in more detail. Now, let's actually do a real Mexican wave now and see if we can be as quick and as seamless at passing around the room as our neurons are at passing messages around our body. So we'll start off down here on the left-hand side, if you're ready here. You're the leftmost person. Here we go. So we're going left to right across the room. Ready, and go! Whoa! Whoa! Exceptional. Fantastic. Oh, excellent. Woo! Woo! Okay, good job. Okay, let's see if we can go even faster than that. We're going to go right to left now. Okay, ready at the back? Right to left and go! Whoa! 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 Excellent work. You got there before I did. Fantastic. Now let's see if we can go front to back. Ooh, front to back. Here we go. Front to back. Whoa! Up you get. Come on. Hey, fantastic, there we go. And the tricky one now, and don't forget, I've not forgotten you in the booth either. You need to start this one, back to front, okay? Back to front. Right, Steve, here we go. Back to front and go! Whoa! 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 Exceptional, amazing. Now, I'm surprised I made that. Now, what this shows us is that neurons are essential to everything we do. They can help us do Mexican waves, yes, but they also help us to do everything we do. They help us to move, to think, to breathe, to respond to stimuli, to control our urges, our hunger, our responses. They're very important. Also, of course, they help you tell your bottom from your elbow, which is extremely important. And if anyone's in any doubt, I do have a slide to illustrate this. Now, that's your gluteus maximus here, and your articulatio cubiti here, and you can tell they're quite distinctly different, as you see there. It's very important, this. It's very important, especially when going to the toilet, to understand its difference. As I discovered to my cost this morning, it was very messy. Now, it's accepted that different parts of the brain are responsible for different functions. But these different parts don't work on their own. They all work together. In fact, you can think about how your brain works, sort of like how a band works. here we have a band, the Austin's a lovely bunch of guys here. Now, with a band, all the different members work together to make a song. So you've got the singer, the bassist, the drummer, the guitarist, all working together. If you take any one of them away, it's still a song, but it doesn't sound quite right. Now, there is one exception to this rule, of course. The only exception I've found so far to this rule is the One Direction there. They're a handsome bunch of lads, to be sure. People like them because of their astonishing good looks, but these lads, of course, are the exception because with them the opposite's true. The more of them you add, the worse they sound. So it's probably for the best that they're going their separate ways, really. Although I'm very sad that they are, because I like them. Now, up until fairly recently, one of the main ways we had to learn about the human brain was through horrible accidents. Like this one here. In 1868, an explosion sent an iron bar through the head of a man called Phineas Gage. Now, believe it or not, he didn't die. He survived. But his behaviour changed. He went from being polite and thoughtful to being reckless and rude. In fact, he would try and get into nightclubs and they'd say, "I don't think so, sir. You're barred now." I'll explain that one later as well. Come and see me if you don't understand. It's quite complex, the comedy there. But seriously, settle down. If you had a bit of metal blown through your head, you'd probably think you'd be grumpy too. But that wasn't why his behaviour changed. He wasn't just upset about it. They discovered the reason for his change in behaviour was actually the specific parts of his brain that had been damaged. Because the parts of his brain affected were found to be responsible for moral sensitivity. So through horrible accidents like this one, we found that A, the brain can be damaged, and B, that damage can affect specific brain function. However, the human brain, much like the continued popularity of our friend Justin Bieber, remains something of a mystery to science. Because although we know a lot about what it does, we don't fully understand quite how it does it, or in this case, why. So now let's take a closer look at the zombie brain. Now, in popular culture, in films and games and whatnot, zombies behave in particular ways that are pretty consistent across the whole genre. For example, they tend to have an insatiable hunger, they like eating, and they like to eat a lot. Also, they fall over a lot, they're not steady in their feet, they tend to sort of stumble and wobble around. And of course, they can be quite aggressive. They're not happy to see you, they're quite nippy. And lastly, they do tend to moan instead of talking. They're not big talkers, the old zombies there. Now, let's see if we can't understand why they might behave like this. Now, firstly, we need to look at ourselves to think about this. We'll start off with the eating. Now, how do you know when it's time to eat? You feel hungry, absolutely right. And how do you know when it's time to stop eating? When you're full, fantastic. Now this knowledge of when you're hungry and full is controlled by a part of your brain called the hypothalamus. There it is there. It's roughly the size of a pea. I should point out, these aren't to scale. Don't worry. It's roughly the size of a pea, but it's not as tasty as a pea. And I do love a good pea myself, usually in the mornings. And the green ones are my favourite, I have to say. Now, in 1949, some scientists discovered mice that gained weight rapidly. These mice eventually became up to 3 times the size of other mice, as we see here. That's the big ones on the left. What they found was the bigger ones couldn't produce a particular chemical in their brain called leptin. Now, leptin tells your hypothalamus when you've had enough to eat. So without this chemical, the mice just never knew that they were full up. So they just kept on eating, and eating, and eating, and indeed eating. Now, there's a similar condition in humans, caused by damage to the hypothalamus, and that's called hyperphagia, and it causes an excessive appetite as well. Or to give it its clinical term, the munchies. Now, it seems likely to me, students, that zombies may have damage to their hypothalamus, or indeed, they may be deficient in leptin. This could explain scientifically why they need to eat all the time. They just don't know when they're full. And if this is the case, can we use this knowledge to our advantage Can you think of any ways we can exploit their constant need to feed against the zombies? I'll take 3 suggestions from you. Yes?
Make them eat themselves.
Make them eat themselves. Very creative, absolutely, yes. You could lock a zombie in a room, or you could even lock 2 zombies in a room, and eventually one would come out larger, and the other one wouldn't come out at all. Or if you did, just put one in the room, he may well indeed end up eating himself, and you just end up opening the door, and a little head would roll out trying to eat your feet, or even just a little mouth. I don't know, but yes, you could pit them against each other. Yes. Yeah.
Feed them till they burst.
Feed them till they burst. Yes, a very good suggestion. If you have enough food, just keep plying them with more and more food until they get so large that they explode. And also, before they explode, they'd be very easy to escape from because they would probably just, unless they got so large they became totally spherical and they could just roll after you like a... That happened to me once in one of the dungeons I was exploring. In fact, it was when I was finding that head, a large spherical, I was running away and there was that. Anyway, it's like a dream to me now. Anyway, okay, so one more suggestion on how you can use a zombie's need to feed against them, yes? Yeah, so you could feed it something that's impossible for it to ever finish eating, so it's constantly preoccupied for eternity. An everlasting gobstopper or something that's just going to be stuck on forever, just trying to finish it, it just can't. That would probably be quite happy, actually, as well, because it would satisfy its hunger, it would just keep on eating and eating, and it would never stop. So that's a good idea, because it's quite humane as well. It doesn't harm the zombie, which is an important point, because, remember, we base all our analysis on science. So we believe zombies would be people with a disease rather than reanimated corpses. That's very unlikely, that's never happened in science. So if you had a person with a disease, you're much better off trying to cure them and help them than kill them. Because if you do that, the police will probably come round and arrest you. That's something to bear in mind that they don't often address in zombie films. Now, let's see what we've got from the Institute, some advice on how you can use the zombies' need to feed against them. Firstly, you can use food as bait, as a lure. So here I am, leaving a trail of zombie snacks for Davy to eat, to lead him into an unpleasant location. And once inside there, there's a good chance he may lose the will to live. And if he does, it's a shame, but if he doesn't even, he might then just turn on whoever's performing inside. Either way, it's a win-win for me. Another tactic you could use was actually hit on by yourself, overfeed them until they explode. Excellent! If you have enough food, there you go, do that. Although make sure that you're not standing too close, because you might get splattered with infected material and you might catch the disease yourself. And also don't eat your pizza nearby, because that's just silly. Dr. Rustin's a careless disregard for hygiene and safety there. Now, let's move on to the second zombie trait, that shuffling, unsteady walk. Now, zombies, they have that lurching, sort of wobbly movement. Let's think about how we move. Now, even the simplest movement is quite a complicated calculation for our brains to perform. For example, if I wanted to pick up this bottle here, first of all, my brain would have to work out what muscles in my arm to contract and in what order, just to get my arm in the right place, like so. Then it would have to work out the correct force to apply to the bottle, so that it doesn't slip out of my grasp, but also so that I don't crush it with my superhuman strength, which could happen. Other factors, like the shape of the bottle, how much liquid it has in it, these all come into play when your brain's calculating how to pick this up and then what forces to apply. It's quite complicated. So it shouldn't be a surprise to learn there's lots of parts of our brains involved in moving our bodies. One of the main movement centres, however, is called the cerebellum, and it is located just there, at the back of the brain, and it sounds like that. It's back just here, the cerebellum. Now, this next picture is an actual picture of a brain, so if you don't like pictures of actual brains, close your eyes, look away now, here it comes. That is the cerebellum there. Now, it looks a bit like a mini brain, but it's not, it's part of the main brain, as it were. In fact, here it looks a bit like your brain's done a poo. And that's the cerebellum. That is not the case. It is part of your brain. It's not a brain poo. Now, to see the cerebellum in action, let's have a little practical demonstration. So for this, I will need the help of a volunteer, preferably somebody who's not wearing glasses today. How about yourself, sir? What's your name?
Liam.
Oh, true. In fact, can I do this with you? Maybe. Yes, okay. Hang on a second. Just give me one moment. bring you up here. What are your names, please? What was your name? Liam. And your name?
Albie.
Albie? Can you just come to the stairs, please, you guys? You come a round of applause, please, for Liam and Albie. Okay. Now, this is a very, very simple experiment, okay, folks? And it's going to require, let's put this here, some precision movements from yourselves. So, if you guys can come over here for me, please, just stand and face out. Just make sure you're not too close to the edge there, so that you don't topple over. Now, it's a very, very simple test indeed. All I need you to do, in fact, I'll go in the middle if that's okay. Just go in the middle here. All I need you to do is to poke my face. Yes, excellent work. You're both the naturals at this. I can see this already. So, let's make it a little bit trickier for you here. What I have here is a specially designed stunt face. It's a fraction the size of my actual face. Cunningly designed. So, next you're going to poke this, but there's a special technique to poking this, okay? So, if you just do what I do here. First of all, put your hand up in the air, a bit like you just don't care, okay? And then poke it straight ahead. Excellent. And then take it straight back. Excellent. And then put it down by your side. Very good. We'll try that again. Straight up. Forward. Back. Down by your side. Excellent work, gentlemen. Okay, so we're ready. We'll do it one at a time here. Okay, so, Liam, here we go. Start poking the face in 3, 2, 1. Poke the face. Right on the money. Fantastic. Excellent work. One more time. You're a natural at this. Great work. Okay, Albie. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Poke the face. Great. You were even ready for it before it came up. Fantastic. Great work. You guys are amazing at this. Let's make it even trickier. Okay. Here I have some special equipment. My zombie goggles. Ooh. Now these have got 2 right-angled prisms in the front which bend the light entering your eyes. This will make things look really weird for you, okay? So I'll give you one of these. Pop those in your forehead just now for me, Albie, and I'll let you know what's going to go on soon. And Liam, these might be a bit... Just make sure, see if they fit your head, and I might make them a bit tighter. Is that okay? You're loose? Fine. Okay, so I'll take you through what's going to happen now, folks. It is very simple. What we're going to do here is, in a second, you'll put the goggles on, and then you'll do the same poking the face technique. And just keep on poking the face again and again and again. So I'll probably do it one at a time, I think is the best way, since I don't have two stunt faces, I'm afraid. So we'll start off with you, Liam, okay, in a second. And while you're poking the face, I will talk to everyone else about what's happening. Then, I will ask you to take the goggles off and poke it one last time. Does that all seem very simple? Okay, so, I'll be with you in a second, I'll be okay? Let's do this Liam first. So here we go. Goggles on, please, Liam, and start the poking of the face in 3, 2, 1, poke the face. And remember the special poking technique? Arm down beside it first. And, yeah, okay, it's quite strange, isn't it?
Yes.
Quite strange. Strange. Now what's happening here is the goggles make everything seem about a foot to the left of where it really is. So it's quite a strange sensation to try and compensate for that. But the more you practice, Liam, the better you get at hitting it, even though it seems like it's not where it should be. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Fantastic. Now, if I can ask you to, on the count of 3, take the goggles off. 1, 2, 3, and poke it one last time. Oh, excellent work. Thank you very much, Liam. That's very good. Now, Albie, we'll see how you get on here. Now, I have here the stunt face. You get the goggles on. Take a little step back for me, please, just so you're not too close to the edge of the stage with the goggles on. There we go. And can you see the face?
Yeah.
Put your arm by your side. Oh, excellent. And try with your arm down, and then up again. Oh, it's strange, isn't it? It looks like it should be over here, but it's not, it's over there. And try it with your arm down again, and up again. Poke it. Oh. Now, the more you practice with your arm down by your side, and then up again, the better you'll get at hitting it first time, even though it seems like it's not where it should be. Yeah. Punch the face, punch the face. There we go, fantastic. Excellent work. Excellent. Now, and on the count of 3, take the goggles off. 1, 2, 3, and poke it one last time. Excellent. Okay, that was interesting. A round of applause, please, for Liam and Al. Excellent work. Fantastic work, as usual. Excellent. Now, yeah, you can go out to your seat if you like. Fantastic, thanks for helping me out. I'll explain now what was going on there. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Excellent work. Now, what happened there was the goggles made everything seem 1 foot to the left of where it really was, but the more that they practiced doing this poking technique, the closer and closer and closer they got to actually hitting the face. This is because of the cerebellum. You can think of the cerebellum like a fine-tuning centre for your body's movements. The more they practiced, the better they got, because their cerebellum compensated for the distortion in their vision by training them to actually hit where it really was. Now, if a zombie had damage to their cerebellum, they would never get better at moving, because no matter how much they practiced, they just wouldn't get any better at it. Their cerebellum wouldn't allow them to, because it would be damaged. If the other movement centres in the brain were also damaged, like the basal ganglia, which helps us to balance and coordinate our movements, they would be really, really bad at moving in general, and they wouldn't be able to, they would fall over a lot. This could explain why zombies have such a hard time negotiating obstacles and they fall over things. They have damage to the movement centres of the brain, most likely, based on our research. And if that's true, how can we exploit that to our advantage? I'll take 3 suggestions. Yes? Yeah, exactly. You can lead them through a hard-to-negotiate place, over hedges, like in terms of there, over hedges, or through little narrow alleyways, or just round, over a roundabout, anything at all that's going to make them fall over. Yes, very good. You can lead them through the most hazardous route possible. Yes? Excellent. Okay, so if you lead them through a trail and make them trip over into a cage, you can then sort of keep them in the cage until you've worked out a cure to help the zombies. Yes? Excellent. So what I like about that again is that you're thinking about the zombies. Yes, you need to contain them and keep them in a cage, but only so that you can then help them and cure them. So very good. Excellent work. Yes? One more? So you could ask someone to dig a little pit, a hole in the park, and then you run over to the hole, jump over the hole, and the zombie's running after you, but it can't, it probably wouldn't be able to actually get the muscles in the right coordination to actually make the jump, but also it would probably take it too long to work out that it has to jump, because its response time would be slower as well, so it would end up just falling straight in. And of course then you could help it once it's stuck in the pit, rather than just calling it nasty names, which would be nice. Okay, I'll take one more, yes?
Maybe you could set out some bear traps, because he slowly just walk into the bear traps.
So yes, you could, along with obstacles and pits, you could put nice, nasty big bear traps along in front of him, which would probably just fall into, which would be quite hard luck in the poor zombie. You'd have a nasty time, and you'd get very sore legs. But you could do that, absolutely, yes, you could use bear traps. Here, by the way, if anyone has any questions or suggestions that I don't get to, don't worry, because I will be in the lobby afterwards and you can ask me any questions or give me suggestions then as well if I don't get to you, so don't worry about that. Here are some suggestions from the Institute on this one here. How can we use the zombies' bad movement against them? Well, the first answer seems quite obvious, and that is to run away. All our research indicates zombies would not be good at running. You wouldn't get fast zombies in real life, because when you get a disease you're worse at things, not better. So if you just run away, in theory you can stay safe indefinitely, just keep running. And if you go to the gym a lot, you'd be fit enough that you could just keep this up forever. The only way this wouldn't work would be if the zombie chasing you had a working knowledge of comedy sketches. Because then he'd come on from the other side and get you, of course, which you need to watch out for. And also, you could climb some stairs, you could climb a tree, you could climb a hill, anywhere that it's hard for them to follow because of their poor balance and coordination. See Dr. Austin here, he's climbed some stairs, but now he hasn't kept his wits about him. He's become trapped between two zombies. So he needs to just wait it out. Now if you are stuck in a zombie standoff, make sure you get something with you to pass the time. Like a bath and a ball, just so that you don't get bored while you're waiting for the zombies to go away. Here we see Dr. Austin's not the best at batting his ball, unfortunately, but he'll learn. Now my own favourite way of using the zombies' bad movement against them is, of course, the zombie dance-off. Here we've got Dr. Austin and Dr. Kevin challenging the zombies to a dance-off. So let's see who wins, shall we? I know who my money's on. Dr. Ross has got all the moves from A to Z. He learned them all from Dr. Dre, my good colleague. Here he goes with the pogo, the floor sweeper, the twerk, a bit of twerking, classic. Yes, that's right, Davey. Get yourself a napkin. You've just been served, son. There we go. Let's see what Davey's got. Let's see how he replies. And yes. No. The zombot. It's always the zombot with Davey. He's mad about the zombot. No, that's not a legal move. Oh no, and that, did you see that?
Yeah.
Dr. Kevin Scarpert. He legged it. That is not good. In a zombie dance-off, make sure your crew has your back, or the zombies will get your front, and that's not on. Now, let's move on to zombie trait number 3, which is, of course, aggression. Zombies are usually angry. They're never happy or relaxed. They're always grumpy about something or other. In this respect, zombies are a lot like the Gordon Ramsay. It's the lesser spotted Gordon Ramsay in his natural habitat here. You'll notice that here, Gordon is upset because he can't find his pencil, which is a real shame for Gordon. It's a real shame. It's a tricky situation for him. Now, within the brain, there's a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. And the amygdala plays a key role in the display and control of aggression. That's actually it there, just at the edge of the circle. Now, this is important because there are certain diseases that affect the amygdala and make the victims more aggressive. And this is important in the spread of disease because it helps the diseases to spread. So let's look at a couple of real-life diseases now to see how they make the amygdala inflame or enlarge and make their victims more aggressive. First of all, we have Lyme disease. Now, Lyme disease is a bacterial infection spread by ticks. Ticks are tiny little parasites, which are, you can see how small it is. That's a 1 cent piece, and that's the tick there. They attach themselves to your skin and they suck your blood, which isn't nice. So they're like tiny little vampires, only they don't sparkle in sunlight, because that would be ridiculous. Now, if zombieism was being spread by ticks, how could we make sure we weren't bitten? Well, ticks tend to like warm, humid climates, so you'd think just by going away to the north of Scotland, you'd be safe, because it's cold up there. But no. In fact, the further north you go, the more in danger of being bitten by a tick you are. Because ticks like to live on the warm bodies of wild sheep and deer, especially in the far north of Scotland. And so if you go walking through the grass with just shorts on, then you're at risk. You're at risk of being bitten by ticks on your legs, and you need to look out for that. Indeed, it's a hazard. I've been bitten myself. It's no laughing matter. Now, the question then becomes, how do you safely remove ticks? Because if you remove a tick safely, within 24 hours of being bitten, then there's very little chance it will actually transfer the harmful pathogens or the diseases it has into your bloodstream. So you should be safe as long as you remove the tick safely within 24 hours. So the question remains, how do you safely remove ticks? Let's find out. I'll need the help of a volunteer, please, for this one. What's your name, please? Nathan? A round of applause for Nathan. Up you come, please, Nathan. Just come up here. Excellent work now. Yes, just here now, actually, Nathan. Fantastic. Now, I've got some special equipment for you to wear to make sure you stay safe here. I've got, what do I have? Oh yes, these special goggles here. Pop those on for me. Just ignore the blood on them, that's fine. And what else do I have here? Ah yes, the patented zombie defender gloves. This is just to make sure the ticks don't burrow too far into your skin. Don't worry, there's no real ticks involved in this. There we go, yeah, nice and safe, they're fantastic. Don't worry about the hole, that's fine, just go. Okay, so I'll set the scene for you here, Nathan. We're off in one of my archaeological digs, and we're looking for relics and artefacts. So far, we've found 25 pence in change, which I'm going to keep if that's okay. We've also found a half a Twix. Do you like left Twix or do you like right Twix? Any? It's the left Twix we've got, and that's my favourite, so I'll keep that too just now. But we'll keep looking in case we find the elusive right Twix, and that'll be yours when we find it. So we've set up a camp for the night. You've cooked up a batch of your speciality dish, dodgy beans, and I love beans. So I'm afraid, Nathan, I've scoffed the lot. Now this is quite bad news because it means I now have to nip to the bushes quickly for a quick download of my brown load. So just bear with me for a wee second here. I won't be a moment, just talk amongst yourselves. Please don't watch, because that's quite rude. Okay, here I go, just don't mind me. Oh dear, okay now, it is quite a large file I'm having to download today. Oh dear, first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. Oh, okay. Now I managed to finish up, Nathan, and I reach out to grab myself a handful of nature's andrex. But before you know what's what, BAM! Now I know what you're thinking, and the answer's no. I haven't just put my arm in my poo. What's actually happened here? You weren't thinking that. Oh, good for you. Now, most people do. They do, don't they? They're actually ticks, but they're not to scale. Don't worry. Ticks are much smaller than this. This is just to help you see them better. Because in reality, they'd be so small you probably couldn't see them very well from there. Now, what I need you to do is to help me, because I've been attacked by 6 ticks, and without your help, I may catch Lyme's disease and die. Can you help me take them off? I'll show you how it's done.
Don't set fire to them.
That's right, yes. Don't set fire to them. Yes.
Don't try and cook them up with pouch tweezers in the middle of a field.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful not to leave anything behind. I'll show you how it's done with the first one, and then we'll continue. Okay, so here we are. Come over here now. Now the first things first. You have to, well, squeezing them is quite bad as well, so I'll walk you through it here. First thing is, now I'm going to remove mine with ones with a fine point, like these ones here. To scale, this is quite a fine point. If you get tweezers with a big flat head, you run the risk of squeezing the body, and that's not good, because it just squirts the infectious innards into your arm, and that is not okay. So get some nice pointy tweezers, and first things first, make sure they're clean tweezers. So I'm going to disinfect them here with my disinfectant spray. Oh, thanks very much, thank you. Just give them a little spray with the old disinfectant. Just keep going. It's quite hard to get it. Oh, it's not quite working. Just keep going. Yeah, that's it working. Great. So now that you've disinfected your face, you then take the tweezers and put them as close to the skin as you possibly can, so you don't leave anything behind. That's the key point. You don't want to leave the head or mouth parts behind, because you might still get infected with the disease if you do. So take the tweezers as close to the skin as you can, grasp it firmly but gently, and pull away from the skin until you remove the tick and all the mouth parts and everything, and you have nothing left in your arm there, as you see. Once you have removed it, you put it into a container so you can take it home and show your doctor what bit you, just to make sure. Alternatively, you can take it home and put it in the bed of somebody you don't like, but that's not advisable. Very good thinking, Nathan. Yes, make sure it doesn't jump out and get us all. Now, is that clear so far? No. Oh no, but is it clear what you're supposed to do? Oh, that's not clear yet, no. It's only 1/6 clear so far, but with your help it will be totally clear. I'll give you the tweezers. There's the spray if you need that. Now, 2 things to bear in mind before we get started here, Nathan. The first is that, as I said, it would take 24 hours for harmful pathogens to start transferring into your bloodstream from the infected to a tick. We don't have 24 hours, so I'm going to give you 24 seconds to remove the rest of the ticks. Exciting times. Don't worry, that means each second will equal an hour, but time will go back to normal at the end, so we're fine. Now, the next thing to remember is, I'm afraid I don't like going to the doctors. So I must apologise in advance, Nathan, if I seem quite squeamish or uncooperative. It's just that I really don't like getting operated on, so I apologise for that. That's my problem, sorry, okay. Will you help me? Excellent, good man. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ticks ready? Yeah. Okay, so here we go. 24 seconds starting from now. Go for it. Help me, Nathan. I don't want to die. Why, Nathan? oh, they're still there. Oh, Nathan, look. There's 9 seconds left, Nathan. Only 9 seconds to get them. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, fellow. Excellent work. Did you see that? You were doing so well. The last tick got scared and left it Jumped off of his own accord. Fantastic work there, that was expert. No heads or mouth parts left behind. I should be A-OK, we made it just in time. Well done indeed. Excellent. I tell you what, that's actually the most relaxed I've ever been with a doctor before. You've got a really soothing bedside manner. Have you thought about entering the medical profession? Becoming a doctor? Maybe you should. I think you've got a future in it. Thank you very much for your help there, Nathan. You're a real star. Shake my hand. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Nathan there. Thank you. We can take the gloves to the last drop now. That's it. We've successfully defeated the ticks using the approved method. Thank you very much. And you can take your seat. Thanks again. Thank you. Now, yes. Excellent. Now, obviously you were very concerned for my safety there, and I thank you for that, because I was in quite serious danger. But believe it or not, I wasn't in any real danger. And I've got, make sure you're seated for this, because it's quite a shock. I've got a surprise for you. Where? Believe it or not, this is a fake arm. Look at that. Ha-ha! That is... That is science, not sorcery. I bet no one saw that coming, eh? Who did? Well, why didn't you say something then if you thought it was a...
I just wanted to blend in.
Thank you very much. Now that is science, not sorcery, folks. And that's just, you know, it's all happening here, all the special effects and tricks. We spare no expense for this show. Now, if I had caught Lyme disease, I would be in a very serious situation. It is not a pretty disease at all. The symptoms are very serious. They include moodiness, memory loss, hallucinations, panic attacks, memory loss, paranoia, memory loss, and of course, memory loss. All of this, plus it messes with your amygdala, making you more aggressive, and there's a very good reason why it does this, and that is to help it to spread. To understand how it can, making the victim more aggressive helps the disease spread, let's look at another disease called rabies. You might have heard of rabies, it's nasty. Now with rabies, the animal or person that has the disease bites someone else, or an arm or a leg or something like that, and from that wound, the infection goes into the nervous system, and it travels along the nervous system of the victim to get to their brain. So, if you have a pad and some pen, you might want to write this down because it's a very important point. You could say that rabies really does get on your nerves. The groan of approval. That's what I feed off of. Yes, that one is so hilarious because it's scientifically accurate. Rabies really does get in your nerves. And it travels to the brain. And once in the brain, it then goes to your salivary glands and saliva, and it makes the victim foam at the mouth. And this is important because the virus is contained in the saliva. So when that person then bites someone else, the virus goes from the saliva into the new wound, the whole process repeats itself, and it spreads like wildfire. It's a very hard to contain disease because it's so easy to spread, and that's why it's important to be wary. To be wary of zombieism if it's spread in the same way as rabies, because it would be in the saliva. And this means not only would we have to avoid being bitten by zombies, we need to make sure we wouldn't be licked by zombies or drilled on by zombies, because we could still get infected that way as well. Also, of course, it means that we can't snog zombies, but that should go without saying. Probably. Now, if zombies are going to want to bite us to help spread the disease, how can we guard against that? Can you think of any ways? I'll take 3 answers. Any ways you can stop zombies biting us? Yes, at the back there. Yes? Counselling. Excellent, yes. Yes, that's a very good way. You can, if the zombies are annoyed and they want to bite you, just say, okay, I understand that you're angry just now, but come with me, let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. I've got a friend who's very good at this sort of thing, and you just talk the zombie, talk him down, and he might become your friend. Very good, yes, I like that. Very good way, yes. Let's see, anyone that's not had a suggestion about yourself?
You could get a heavy book and whack them in. You could get a heavy book and whack them in the face constantly till they knock out.
Yes! Any particular book? Does it matter which book?
A heavy one.
A heavy one, so War and Peace, something like that, or a dictionary, a large dictionary, the complete works of Shakespeare. Just whack them in the face repeatedly until they knock out, and Yes. Well, that would work. That would stop them biting you, absolutely. And if you hit them in the mouth, they might jam in their mouth. That would stop them from biting, absolutely. It would, yes. Very good. I'll take one more suggestion from somebody that hasn't had... I'll go with yourself, actually. I'm not sure if you've had one.
Well, when they go to bite, you shove a piece of food in their mouth.
So you could use food to block the bite, and also that would help them because they'd be hungry anyway, so you might as well make use of it, yeah? You might eat the food quite quickly, but if you have enough food, you could keep blocking up the mouth with that. That would stop the saliva as well, unless it was really tasty food, and they just started drooling because it was so tasty. But either way, yes, blocking the mouth with something would work, yes. Liam, did you have a suggestion?
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, that's it. You can tell me what it was after the show if you want as well. Now, here we have a suggestion from the Institute about how the best way to stop yourself being bitten from a zombie can work. Have you one more? I'll take one more from the back, actually, okay? One more. What's your suggestion? Make them dance. Excellent, yes. Make the zombies dance. It's hard to bite someone when you're dancing. I've tried, and it's not easy. And also, it would bring joy to the lovely zombies, because zombies don't often get a chance to dance. And there's only one time I can think of. Michael Jackson had a little song, and he let the zombies dance. That's the only time I can think of that I've seen zombies dancing. That was quite a good song, actually. Now, okay, so how do you defend against zombie bites? The answer's quite simple, or the best answer. There we go. Now, armour. Even a magazine taped to your arm can prevent people from biting through your flesh, because humans can bite through flesh, but a magazine would stop them. Anything harder than that would stop them. If you are bitten, however, there was an experiment in 1972 done on mice where scientists injected them in the back foot with rabies. They found that amputation, even up to 18 days after the initial infection, was still a life-saving procedure. So well done, doctor. You've managed to stop yourself getting infected by just chopping off the infected hand. How does that feel? Amazing, I'm sure it does. Right, now if you're bitten in the neck or head, amputation has a lower survival rate. But fair play to the doctor, he's going to try anyway, so look away now. If you don't like he's going to try and amputate the head, which is it's not an operation that's done very often. Let's see how he gets on there. Success! He's managed to stop the spread of the disease just by amputating his own head. He's a pioneer, a real maverick is Dr. Olsen. Well done there. Now I should point out that's not real. That's not real, it didn't really happen, don't worry. It's all fake. It's all fake. Dr. Olsen is fine. He's still very much head of the institute. Yes, thank you. I love the goals. Here we go. Now, that's that one dealt with. Wear some armour, they won't bite you then. Let's now look at zombie moaning. How does that work? Well, zombies do tend to moan on and on and on. In this respect, they're a lot like the Daily Mail. Now, early patients with speech problems gave researchers their first clues as to how the brain was linked with speech. In fact, in 1861, there was a French scientist called Pierre-Paul Broca, and he encountered a patient who could only say one word. The only word she could say was the word tan. Tan, there she is. Now, Broca waited. He waited until tan passed on, and when she did, he had a little look inside her brain, and he found that she had damage to a part of her brain called the left frontal cortex. So, this part of the brain then became known as Broca's area. And it's quite simple for me to show you how Broca's area works. For example, if I say the word zombie to you, and you then repeat back the word zombie to me, zombie. Zombie. Here's what's just happened. Here we have, this is a diagram of us talking as we just did. That's me on the left, obviously. It's you on the right. So the word zombie left my mouth, and it travelled to your ear. Obviously it's quite an old picture of me, back when I had long hair and was a girl. Obviously that's a joke, I never had long hair, that's silly. So the word zombie leaves my mouth, travels to your ear, from there it goes to your posterior speech area, and then it travels through your speech centres, including Broca's area, and then it gets to your primary motor cortex, and that allows you to then repeat the word back to me out loud. Now if you had damage to your Broca's area, that would disrupt this process, because you wouldn't be able to properly form words, and any words you could form would become slow and slurred. You'd have a condition known as Broca's aphasia, which would prevent the proper formation of words. Now this sounds familiar. This sounds like what zombies have. If zombies have Broca's aphasia, that can explain why they can't communicate properly. All they can do is moan. They know what they want to say, they just can't actually physically form the words because of this damage to that part of their brain. Now, can you think of any ways we can use that to our advantage? There's not many for this one. There's only really one I can think of. So, I'm not sure if there's... Yes? Like a rap battle, like a duel. So for a prize, if the prize was the cure for zombieism, and you could challenge it to a rap battle, you'd win. Which wouldn't be good because the zombie needs the cure more than you do. So you could then give it the... But yes, you could definitely humiliate zombies in that way and make them really sad and cry. And while they're crying, you could run away. So yes, you could do that. Yes, at the back? Take them to spelling bees? Yes, they would be rubbish. Rubbish at that. And the irony or the bad thing is, they probably would know fine well how to spell the word. They just couldn't actually tell you, which would be really, really disappointing and disheartening for them. Poor zombies, making them very sad pandas indeed. One last one? Yeah?
You could put them and lock them in a room and make them have to say one word to free them.
Yes, so that's very good. That's the top answer. That's what we think as well. You could have a room with a lock on the door with a voice-activated password, so that you have to say the word to get out of the room and activate the lock. Zombies would be rubbish at getting past that, unless, of course, you made the word or brains, perhaps. But don't do that as the answer there. Very good. Excellent. So, we do have some advice on this, though. Firstly, don't try and negotiate with zombies. You won't get very far, mainly because you can't understand them. So you can't really negotiate. Secondly, though, don't be fooled into thinking that just because you can't understand them, that they also can't understand you. Because it's two different parts of the brain that are involved in producing speech and understanding speech. They can probably understand you perfectly well. They just can't actually say what they want to say back to you. So here we've got an example here. Dr. Austin and Dr. Kevin are discussing a plan to lure Davy into the river and drown him. But he's heard every word and got himself a nice pair of water wings to help him survive. And this results, of course, in a brown trouser moment for Dr. Austin here. Now let's recap what we've learned so far. We've got the hypothalamus, if you remember, is the part of the brain that controls your appetite levels. It tells you when you're hungry and when you're full up. This could be damaged to make the zombies eat all the time. But we can use this to our advantage by using food as bait or by overfeeding them till they explode. The cerebellum and movement centres of the brain can be damaged to create the zombie shuffle and make them fall over. We can use that to our advantage by just running away or climbing some stairs. And of course the amygdala can be damaged or inflamed to make the zombie more aggressive and more likely to bite you. But if we know that's going to be the case, we can get some armour and protect ourselves. And of course Broca's area can be damaged to create the zombie moan, but we can use that to our advantage by making secure rooms with voice-activated security systems on them. Now, whatever it is that's going to cause zombieism, because it will happen. Whatever it's going to be, well maybe, it's going to be affecting the brain, we know that for sure, whether it's a virus or a bacterial infection or a prion disease, it will affect the brain. So assuming we manage to stop the disease from spreading, we find a cure, we manage to cure everyone that's got it, the question remains, what can we do for the people who had the disease? They're now all better, but they've still got damage to their brain that was caused by the disease. How can we help them get better? Well, this is quite a complicated question, and it's one we go into more detail in the longer show, but I can touch on the ideas just now, and the answer really is therapy. Different forms of therapy to help people to regain their lost skills, such as physical therapy, to help the people that have been affected by the disease to move again, to walk again, perhaps even to dance. And of course, speech and language therapy would help them to form words again, to relearn how to speak and communicate. And a very important one for me, psychological support. A bit like your anger management that you suggested before. If you'd been a zombie for 2 weeks, and you'd bitten your mum, you'd eaten your cat, you'd done all these terrible things, you'd probably feel quite bad about it when you were cured, wouldn't you? So you need to talk to someone about how you feel, and how, just to help you get over the trauma of having done these things. So you need some psychological support as well. Now, you don't ever see this in zombie films or zombie games. What's much more common is something a bit more like this. Hitting the zombie over the head with stuff until they fall over. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was a zombie, I'd much rather be helped, cured, and rehabilitated, then hit over the head until I fell over. But, just for argument's sake, let's see how easy this actually would be to do in a pressurised situation, because I don't think it's that easy at all. So for our last experiment, folks, I need one last volunteer to help me to see how easy it would be to kill a zombie. What's your name?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie? Would you like to join me on the stage, please, Mackenzie? A round of applause for Mackenzie, thank you very much. Excellent work. Okay. Up we come here, Mackenzie. Thank you for the stand just round about here. Now, in this experiment, you'll be killing 2 zombies in a pressure situation. So it's not going to be easy. But you'll have all the equipment you need. And now I have a special weapon for you here to help you kill the zombies. And it is my own, because we all know in a zombie apocalypse you need to just make your weapons out of whatever comes to hand. So I've got here my own homemade, it is tennis racket crossbow. Now, this used to be my little cousin's tennis racket, but I took it off him and turned it into a crossbow. He complained, he did complain, but by that time I had a crossbow. So there's not much you could do about it. So here we go. The first thing to say about the tennis racket crossbow, Mackenzie, is whatever you do, don't point it at the audience. That's rule number 1. We're actually going to be shooting this way, into the darkness over here, okay? So I'll take you through how to load it. All you do is you take 2 fingers and put them on either side of the crossbow to pull the string back until it goes into that groove, as you see there. And that pops the trigger out here. And then you just pull the trigger and it pops it back out. And it fires. Excellent. You're going to have 3 darts to fire. And I'll show you the darts over here. Here we go. So you place the dart in the the last little red groove there. That's the best place to put it for a good shot. So put it down there, put the dart in the red groove, and then you fire. So is that clear? I'll give you a practice go at just firing the crossbow. Upstage here, there we go. So pull the string back. That's into the groove, fantastic. Place the arrow on the last little red one. There we go. And, yeah. Whoa! Fantastic, you're a natural, Mackenzie. You're a natural. This is a good one, I'm going to feel it's good. Now, one other thing. If you keep it sort of waist height, that's your best chance of getting a good hit. Now you're going to try and kill, you get 3 darts with which to kill 2 zombies. So you've got 1 miss. You can miss once, otherwise you'll be eaten if you miss more than once. So here we go, there's your 3 darts. And you need some zombies to shoot. So who wants, no, I'm joking, I wouldn't, no. I wouldn't put you in the firing line, it's me, I'm in the firing line. But I'm not an idiot, I do have some protective gear here. I have my special zombie visor, there we go. And my glamorous assistant will help me here. My glamorous assistant is Zombie Davina. There she is, Zombie Davina. She's lovely. Now, I'll be over here. And every time you fire, I'll take a step towards you. So it'll be even more pressure, even more tension. Whoa, until we're almost at you, Mackenzie. But by that time you'll have killed us both, of course, because according to the films, it's easy. It's easy. Let's see. Are you ready, Mackenzie? Okie dokie, here we go. Killing 2 zombies with 3 darts. Begin the experiment, Mackenzie. And go. Whoa, we're gonna get you. Oh, I like your shoes, Mackenzie. Once we kill you, I'm gonna take them and wear them myself. Whoa. Oh. Oh, baby, that's it. 1 zombie down. Oh, you think you're good? I'll take a step towards you, actually. Here we go, Mackenzie. You just get me to get. Let's get. Oh. Well, that's completely disproved my entire theory and ruined the show. Well done. Well, that was a fantastic shot. Again, it makes me actually wonder, have you ever killed somebody with a crossbow before? Well, you must just be very, very good at that sort of thing. I wouldn't advise you to ever practice that in public because it's not good, but very well done. That was exceptional shooting, I'll take that back, just before you do any more damage with it. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mackenzie, that's amazing. Excellent, thank you very much. Excellent. Now, that was an exceptional bit of shooting there. Very well done, fantastic. Unfortunately, it's not going to prove my point for me. Well, actually it does, because even if you manage to be as amazing at shooting zombies in the head as Mackenzie, you still get their bits of brain and blood from the impact spattering back on you, and if they were infected with the disease, which they would be, you would get it all over your face and your mouth, you'd become infected too. So it's not exactly a safe thing to do, to go about bludgeoning zombies or shooting them in the face, even if you are very good at it in a pressure situation. What we believe the best thing to do in a zombie apocalypse would be to run away from the zombies, try and maybe contain them in like some cages or humane things, develop a cure them and rehabilitate them and send them back to the bosom of their loving family. That's what I'd like to happen to me if I was a zombie, and I'm sure probably you would too. So that's our best advice on the zombie outbreaks. Now, everything we've learned so far is on our website. It's zombiescience.co.uk, and if you go on there, you can do a multiple choice exam as well, which will get you your very own certificate of zombie neurology, which you can put your name on, you can print that out, and use it to impress your cat. Also, not much impresses cats, let me tell you, but this is one of the few things it does. Also, we can look up our Facebook page, the old Book of Faces there, we're on there. We do update that quite regularly. Now, thank you for coming today. Please do have a look at all the other fantastic shows that are on this weekend, because there's a lot of great stuff going on. As I said before, I will be in the foyer in a second when we're finished, so if you have any more questions or things you want to tell me or suggest, I'll be there and you can tell me them outside. But for now, please do join me next time when I'll be exploring the burning question of our time, which is, of course, if there's a zombie outbreak in Vegas, does that stay in Vegas? Well, I'll be looking to get some funding personally to go and find out. It's a very important topic that needs instant research. But please, thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this.